first thing is to be aware that you're already there before the start of a day. The very idea that, okay, now it's Wednesday, need to go and do something. You're already here before even that first thought emerge. If there's a first thought, it must emerge in front of some consciousness that's aware that is my first thought. To be conscious of that is already very, very powerful. But I gave exercise recently that, it is good to develop the habit. Let's not even call it a habit, because when you first start something, it's not a habit. But to try this exercise of just sitting quietly for a while. Get up a bit earlier than you usually do if you feel that you need to do that, and just sit. And as though you're sitting inside yourself, sitting inside your being. And just keep your awareness around this body for a moment. Just be present with your body. So there's an awareness of the body, of course. It's not the body's aware of something. Something's aware of the body, and just be with that. And if you want to close your eyes or open your eyes, it's fine. But be aware. Now you're registered, the body's here, sitting in a chair or whatever. But what else is present? And there's an obviousness that something which I'm calling your being is present. Sometimes mind is also coming up. But if mind is coming up, be aware of that. And if it comes up, it's almost as fishing for personhood, that if you can make a personal contact, then it will start this mechanism of, yes, I should do this and what I need to do and so on. So this just be aware of that, but don't go into trying to get rid of or pacify or change anything. Just be aware that that's the mind stuff. That's more important. That's just kind of bubbling here. But greater than that is the space that is allowing mind to come up. And mind is going to come up in the form of some noise, some person, some memory, some projection. Just see like a butterfly passing through the greater space of just isness, of just being. And that's just here. Beingness is not at work. It's not doingness. It's a beingness. Sometimes the mind reacts against, like the beingness is kind of stuck and it's nothing going on. These are from the mind. Don't get engaged with that. Just be aware of the being, the sense of being. It's not personal. Even the sense of being here. Keep the attention just on that. Not in a tense way, just that you're aware of beingness. You may be aware of mind, you're aware of body, but these body and mind stuff are appearing in the greater self, in the beingness, the sense of just I amness, impersonal. And to rest consciously in this I amness. Inspect your thoughts. When it is seen that a thought that is appearing in the mind or as the mind is not true, then you must verbally declare it's untrue. This is not true. So not just think it's not true, but actually say this is not true. Then one wants to know, well, what is true? And as a matter of fact, most thoughts are not true. About practical things, it's okay up to a point, but let's start at a much more important level for recognition, and that is that whatever thought brings you into the I personality, the I person ego shape, that thought is not true. It's not good. So you can start with that. And in fact, nearly all thoughts that we are engaged with often is the ones that are reminding you of your sense of personhood, your position about something, what you believe, your take, your perspective personally. So, of course, with being vigilant with it and watching, you'll probably feel, oh my gosh, All these thoughts are untrue. Don't be surprised at that, because what you're going to discover, don't be disappointed. What you're going to discover is the space behind the thought, the space that was before the thought, the space that's there during the thought but is hidden or eclipsed because the attention goes to the thought, and the space that is there even after the thought has dissolved. And that space I'm calling the space of being, your natural state, peaceful, calm. Of course, mind will say, but I can't live like that. I've got things to do. You're going to discover that all the things can be done, and much better so, because they will drop away. What will drop away are the things that are exaggerations in the mind, the things that the ego keeps inventing as things to do. But then your whole energy field becomes choked up with just things to do lists, and also those thoughts that push you into states of agitation, fear, desire, anxiety. They are not true. So casting them out simply means don't fight with thoughts. You don't have to fight with them. Just remember that also one thing, you have the power as consciousness, because that's what you are, to see that whatever comes and goes cannot be as true as you who witness them. Keep remembering that. That which witnesses them is not the person, because the person itself is witnessable. So like this you start. You'll be surprised at how quickly you'll feel the space of your natural self and know, oh my gosh, how wonderful it is, because now I'm living in peace, as peace itself, actually. You see? So this is very, very important. So many people are, they feel that their life is too busy, their mind is too busy, there's too many things to do, and there's no rest in their life, and so on. But it begins with thought, and it ends with thought. When you realize that, wait a second, thoughts are not necessary in quite the way that we have taken them to be. They don't necessarily enrich your life. They just make it more claustrophobic. So pay attention to this and see. People all over the world, they look about for this thing about searching for happiness. But often we're looking for happiness in things we do, and who you meet, and maybe who you'll marry, or getting a good job, that these things will bring you happiness. But we have discovered a happiness without even trying. We're not working trying to be happy. There's a happiness which comes from inside you, which is a happiness that comes with not living in the ego mind state, but in your heart. And that happiness, it doesn't really go away. And it's not a practice happiness. You can practice other things. You can practice meditation. You can practice vipassana. You can practice many things, But the real happiness is natural. It's like the natural perfume of who you are, of your beingness, And it just felt like this. I was just sitting here looking at those plants and the butterflies just landing on the plants and just moving around. Everything moving in their own dynamics, in their own spontaneous way. It begins inside the heart of each one, who have come to find the less there is of person, the more there is of just the presence. And this presence is very natural. It's not a hasty thing. It's not practicing for something. It's already there. It's funny that we spend a lot of our life in activity to try and find something that won't stay with you. It will always go. But there are some who search for that which they don't have to create. They don't have to improve it. They only have to discover it and bring your attention to it. Actually, if you love something, you don't have to practice to attend to it. You naturally want to attend to it. And the happiness that just flows from knowing and being yourself. I just want to remind people that it's a natural thing, and that, it's possible to be truly happy without it being some performance or some kind of struggle to be happy. Find too much struggle to be happy, trying too hard to be happy, is quite a sad thing, actually. Because you miss the fact that actually we are naturally happy, only because of our own mental processes and believing in them and identifying too much personally brings in the sense of unhappiness, which hides our natural happiness. But that's it.